everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to have you here because in today's video we are going to be baking the most yummy holiday goodies. So I love to bake, and especially around the holidays you've got to have those classic yummy goodies that you like to eat all throughout the holidays. And so I have tried to figure out what recipes I want to include in this video, and I decided to pick 5 of my family's favorites. So the first one we're going to cook is Crockpot chocolate peanut clusters. And you heard that right, I said Crockpot. They are literally dump in the crock pot and leave them to cook on their own. You stir them occasionally, but they are the easiest peanut clusters you will ever make, but also the tastiest. The second recipe we're going to make is milk chocolate fudge. So I will include both recipes, one that's made with a semi-sweet chocolate, and then the one that we love the most, it's made with a milk chocolate. And then number 3, we're going to make soft, chewy caramels. You have to have caramels during the holidays, right? And I will also include a recipe for salted caramel. And then our 4th thing we're going to make is soft ginger cookies. These are one of my very, very favorite cookies, but I only make them during the holidays, so it makes them even that much more special. But they are a really soft, really yummy holiday cookie. And then number 5, we're going to make butter crunch popcorn. So this popcorn, it's not like a gooey caramel popcorn, it's more like a crunchy toffee popcorn, but it is so delicious, and every time I bring it to a gathering, I get asked multiple times for the recipe. So I will include all of these recipes down in the description box below, and I am curious, I want to know what your family's favorites are. What can you not go without eating during the holidays? Is it caramel? Is it popcorn? Is it a different kind of cookie? Let me know in the comments down below, because I would love to know what you guys love during the holidays. But these are my family's 5 favorites, and I will include all the recipes down below. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to get started with the Crockpot chocolate peanut clusters. So this can start cooking while we cook other goodies, and that's what I love about this. You already have one thing going while you're working on something else. So in this recipe, we're going to use peanuts, and these can be lightly salted, but these ones are from Costco and they're really, really yummy. So we'll use that. 4 cups of those peanuts. And then we're going to use semi-sweet chocolate chips. We're going to add 1.5 cups. 1.5 cups milk chocolate chips. 1.5 cups peanut butter chocolate chips. And 1 package or 24 ounces of this almond bark, and you want to put this on very, very last. So the first thing we're going to add is the peanuts, and we need 4 cups. That didn't quite fill up all the way. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, we're going to add our semi-sweet chocolate chips, and we need 1 1/2 cup. There's 1 1/2. 1.5 cups of milk chocolate chips. 1.5 cups of peanut butter chips. 24 ounces of almond bark broken up into chunks. You just want to make sure that you add this almond bark last. Now all you're going to do is cook this on low for 1 hour, but you want to make sure that you stir it every 15 to 20 minutes. So I like to put a timer on for an hour and another timer on for 15 minutes so I can remember to stir. You just don't want it to scorch on the bottom. Okay, so it's been 15 minutes, so we're going to do our first stir. See how it's already starting to melt? You just want to make sure that you get the bottom stirred so none of those pieces scorch on the bottom. And then we'll just put it on for another 15 minutes. Okay, now it's been 30 minutes. Let's give this a really good stir. Just make sure that you get that bottom so that you don't have any scorching on the bottom. Okay, now it's been 45 minutes. Let's give it another stir. Okay, now they're done. I'm just going to give it one final stir just to make sure that everything is mixed thoroughly in here. Now I'm going to start dropping them onto a cookie sheet that's lined with wax paper. So I have two different sizes of cookie scoops. One is a little bit bigger, the other one is smaller, and I'm going to use the smaller one today just so that I can get more peanut clusters. I'll use the big one usually if I'm making them for my family and I want a bigger cluster, but today we're going to use the smaller one so I can have more clusters. Okay, so now we're going to start our soft ginger cookies. So preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Then we're going to add 2 1/4 cups of flour. Then you'll add 2 teaspoons of ground ginger. Then add 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Three-fourths teaspoon of cinnamon, and this is my favorite kind of cinnamon. Then add 1/2 teaspoon of cloves. Then add 1/4 teaspoon salt. Then you're going to mix this together with a whisk. Now you're going to set this mixture aside and get a larger bowl. Now you're going to add 3/4 cup of butter, which is 1 1/2 sticks. Now you're going to add 1 cup of sugar. Now you're going to blend this mixture together until it's light and fluffy. Now you're going to add 1 egg. Then give this a really good mix. Then you're going to add 1 tablespoon of water. Then add 1/4 cup of molasses. This is my favorite kind. Now you're going to mix this together. Add half of your dry ingredients mixture, give it a really good mix, and then add the other half. Okay, so for these soft cookies, I use my medium cookie scoop. I feel like this makes them the perfect size. And then I'm going to get a bowl full of white sugar. And what you want to do is drop your cookie dough into the sugar, coat it with sugar, and then you'll roll it into a nice ball and place it on your cookie sheet. You don't want to roll the dough first before the sugar because this dough is kind of sticky. So if you drop it in the sugar, coat it in the sugar, and then roll it in a ball, it makes it easier to handle. Ginger cookies are going to look like. Still a little bit puffy. They almost look like they're not done, but they're perfect. You just don't want to overcook. I just took these out of the oven. You want to let them sit on the cookie sheets for about 5 minutes before you put them on a cooling rack. They will continue to bake just a little bit, so this is what you're looking for. Okay, now it's time to dip the cookies. So this is just melted vanilla almond bark, and you just want to get it so it's completely melted and really smooth. Then we're going to take our soft ginger cookies once they've cooled completely, and you're going to dip half of the cookie into this chocolate mixture. Make sure that you drain off the excess chocolate and then set it on your wax paper to completely dry on your cookie. But if you've never had a gingerbread cookie with chocolate on the side, oh, you are in for a treat. It's so good. Okay, next we are going to make our milk chocolate fudge. So these are my very favorite kind of chocolate chips, and I use 6 cups of chocolate chips, 2 cans of sweetened condensed milk, 1 stick of butter, or 1 cup, or half a cup, 1/2 cup, and and a dash of salt. Okay, so I've already measured my chocolate chips. I have 6 cups of chocolate chips in here. We're going to add our sweetened condensed milk. Make sure you put this in a microwavable safe bowl. Then we're going to add half cup of butter, and a dash of salt. Now we're going to put this in the microwave for about 3 to 5 minutes, but you don't want to put it in too long. So start out with 3 minutes, stirring once or twice during those 3 minutes. Okay, this has been in for about a minute and a half. I'm just going to give it a really good stir. It's already starting to melt and come together. We'll put it in for another 1 minute and 30 seconds. And then we'll check it again after that. Okay, this has been in the microwave for a total of 3 minutes. Let's stir it around and see how it looks. It will continue to melt as you stir. So you just don't want to cook it in the microwave too long, no longer than 5 minutes, but let's just continue to stir, see how it looks. I'm going to put it in for another 30 seconds. Okay, that was another 30 seconds, so I think that's going to be the perfect amount. Let's just make sure that all that butter is completely melted and incorporated into the mix. And you just want to make sure that it's getting nice and smooth. See how smooth that texture is? That's what you're looking for. You don't want any bumps or, grainy texture. Sometimes if you cook your fudge too long, it can get grainy. And so we don't want that. Just look for that smooth. You see that? So that looks perfect. So what we're going to do next, I've lined my 9x13 pan with tin foil. This makes it easier to get your fudge out when it's completely set up, but you also want to grease the tin foil really, really well. Now we're just going to put our fudge mixture in there. Just going to give it one last stir. Just smooth out the top. You don't want to spend too much time doing this. It'll eventually settle in. But another thing I like to do is just tap the pan on the countertop. After you have removed your fudge from the fridge, you want to cut it while it's still cold. It makes it a lot easier and it looks prettier. Also use a flat knife, nothing with serrated edges, and you'll get a nice pretty edge on your fudge. Okay, next we're going to make our butter toffee crunchy popcorn. So what I do is I make a little batch at a time, and I shake the bowl around so that those kernels will go down to the bottom. And then I transfer the popcorn to a bigger bowl. We're going to make this big of a batch, so it makes a lot, but you have to agree, there's nothing worse than when you're eating popcorn, especially like a candied or a caramel popcorn, and you bite into a kernel and break your tooth off. We don't want that. So that's why I do this. It takes a little bit more time, but I think it's totally worth it. So if you look at the bottom of this bowl, see how many kernels we still have left? You do not want to be eating those. Have to go to the dentist. Okay, so I'll make another batch and do the same thing until this bowl is completely full. Okay, this is perfect. You still want a little bit of room right there at the top of the bowl so that you can mix your popcorn with the butter toffee mixture. So yeah, that's the perfect amount. Okay, now we're gonna make the topping for our popcorn. So we need 4 squares of butter. I never said it was healthy, but if you eat it occasionally or just for the holidays once, it's not too bad. I'm going to turn it on medium just so that it can start melting. Then we're going to add 2 cups of sugar. Then you'll add a ½ teaspoon of salt. Half a cup of Caro. Now you're just going to melt all of this. It's going down on Christmas Day. 'Cause I'm trying to tell you in every way. Yeah, I'm trying to show you, but somehow felt I wanna have someone to hold. Walking through the falling snow. Oh, oh. I'm trying to tell you in every way, but now I'll get it done. I'm not going away and right around the mistletoe. When it reaches a full rolling boil like this, you want to turn the timer on for 5 minutes. After it has boiled for 5 minutes, remove it from the heat and add your baking soda and mix really well. Okay, so now grab your popcorn, and we're just going to pour all of this mixture over the popcorn. And then just make sure that you mix it thoroughly. Try to cover all of the popcorn. Okay, once you have it completely mixed in and all the popcorn is covered, grab 2 cookie sheets. And you're going to evenly pour half of the popcorn on here and half of the popcorn on here. Now just spread it out on your cookie sheet. You want to preheat your oven to 250 degrees. And then we want to put both of these sheets, I have a double oven, but if you just have one, cook each pan of popcorn for 15 minutes, but make sure that you stir the popcorn every 5 minutes. About 5 minutes, you want to take your popcorn and just kind of break it up, stir it around a little bit so that you can get rid of some of these big clumps as it cooks. Same thing to the other batch. Okay, now just put it on for another 5 minutes, and we'll do the same thing again. Okay, so I just took the popcorn out of the oven. Oh, doesn't it look amazing? But what you want to continue to do is stir it as it cools. Once it's cooled all the way, we're going to add it back to that big bowl, and then it's ready to serve. So just continue to stir while it's sitting here cooling. Okay, you guys, I just want to show you the texture of this popcorn. So it's not necessarily ooey gooey. If you listen, it's like more kind of crunchy and buttery, like toffee. But oh, it's delicious. Okay, so now we're making the caramels. So the first thing you want to do is start out with 2 squares of butter or 1 cup. Then you want to add 1 can of evaporated milk. Then you want to add 1 cup of brown sugar. And you want to have packed brown sugar. 2 cups of white sugar. One cup of corn syrup. Then you want to add 1 pint of heavy whipping cream. 1 pint is also 2 cups. So what you're going to do is just let this kind of melt together and start cooking, and then we're going to bring it to a boil. Okay, then you also want to add a dash of salt. So in my directions, I give you the temperature that you'll need to get on a candy thermometer, but I've never used a candy thermometer. I grew up using this method that my mom showed me. So what I do is I get a cup of really cold water and I pour the caramel mixture in it. And if it kind of starts to hold together and solidify, that's when you know it's starting to get ready. Okay, I just want to show you. So here's after I put it in the cup of hot water, or cold water. See how it's standing kind of on its own, but it's still soft? Can you see that? It's holding a soft ball stage. That is where you want to get it. Now you're going to pour the hot caramel mixture onto a greased cookie sheet and then spread it out and let it sit until the caramel is firm to the touch. Okay, so now we're going to cut and wrap our caramels. So you want to wrap them in wax paper, and what I do is I just pull out a couple of sheets and start cutting some pieces into long squares so I can wrap. I like my caramels to be kind of long rectangle pieces. So as you'll see here, I'm just going to cut the pieces of wax paper and then I'll cut the caramels and then I'll start wrapping. Finally, we're done. This recipe makes a lot of caramels, so it's a good one. Thank you so much for sticking with me through this video, and if you like what you see, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. I'm so happy that you're here, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks, bye.